Yeah, my name is Dr. Tan, and I'm the unit convener and lecturer for this unit in this semester. So today the purpose for this briefing is to inform you about the details of the online quiz one. I believe most of you is the first time you are having the online assessment, right, in this semester. So I'd like to provide some information to you on how to attempt this assessment. Okay, so I'd like to share my PowerPoint slides now. So for this PowerPoint slide, I already attached in the email on the Canvas. Right? Last 2 weeks, you can go to access as well. Huh? It's the same thing. Okay. So this is our first online assessment for this unit. And the assessment will be conducted on the 5th of October, Monday. It's Monday. So we are going to use the slot of the lecture time, which is at 4 o'clock. Okay, Malaysian time. For the international students, please remember this is Malaysian time. 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. In fact, the duration of this quiz is only 30 minutes. Right? Only 30 minutes. But you are allowed to attempt the quiz within 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. What does it mean? That means like if you start attempt the quiz at 4 o'clock, that means you'll finish at 4:30. The system will automatic close the system. Okay, so you have only 30 minutes. However, if you start the quiz at 4:10, if you start to attend the quiz at 4:10, that means you'll finish by 4:40. Yeah, 4:40. So that means in order to enjoy the full 30 minutes of the assessment time, you have to attend the quiz. The latest one, it should be 4:30. By 4:30, you have to start to attend the quiz and finish at 5. Okay, so if you start the quiz at, let's say, 4:40, you start, then you can only manage to finish the quiz until 5 o'clock only, because the system will automatically shut down. Okay, so try to be careful with the time management. Right, make sure that you try to attempt the quiz as early as possible. The system will open at 4 o'clock. You cannot attempt early also. You have to attempt sharp, either at 4 or after 4 o'clock. Okay, or 4:10, 4:15. Try your best to try to attempt early. Okay. So this is about the time. Any question about this before we move to the next slide on the marks allocation, everything? Any question about the time? Duration is only 30 minutes. So some students may ask why allowed to use 1 hour, okay, for this quiz. Is because of the time zone difference. Some international students may only manage to attempt the quiz, start the quiz at 4:10 or 4:15. All right. So this is to cater all of you able to attend the quiz within this period. Or some may have technical issue. At 4 o'clock, some of you may have technical issue to access the online quiz through Canvas. Then you can just contact me. Then I can try to help you to fix the problem within this period. Okay, any questions so far before we move to the next slide about the time of the quiz? Any questions so far? So far so good, But anyway, on the same day, I'm going to send you one more email to through the Canvas to remind you to attempt the online quiz on the 5th of October. Okay, I probably will send one email in the morning on the coming Monday. Okay, any questions so far? I stop for a while.
Sir,
Yes.
Doctor, what if like 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. we facing the connection issue? So how do we retake the quiz, or we can't retake the quiz?
That's why you have to inform me early, as soon as possible. And then later on, I'm going to provide you one practice exercise so that you can familiar with the system.
Okay.
If you are not able to attempt the quiz, you have to inform me early. Okay, try to inform me early, so that I can provide you support, the technical support. Let's say you try to attempt the quiz at 4 o'clock, but you have some technical issue, then try to contact me through email or Microsoft Teams. Okay, contact me first so that I can help you to fix the issue.
No, I mean like the internet connection issue. Like suddenly the server is like my
Bad
Wi-Fi
weather,
is not.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes can be bad weather.
So how should I do if like
So
if
depends on
that,
the situation. Depends on the situation. Maybe I can allow you to go for we call as replacement quiz. But anyway, the question will be different.
yeah, okay.
A lot
Thank you.
for replacement quiz maybe the following day. But you have to inform me early. If you got problem, you have to inform me early.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question besides question from Jun Yuan? Okay, if not, then I'll move to the next slide. Okay, and go back to the question, to the slide again. Okay. Should be this one first. Okay, have to follow the sequence. Okay, so the next slide. Okay, so doing the quiz, make sure that you have a calculator. Can be any type of calculator. You can use the traditional one, also can acceptable, or you can use your handphone, also can. Right? But my advice is better to use a scientific calculator. That will be better. Use the calculator that you are familiar. Okay, use the calculator that you are more familiar. That is the one that you always use. Maybe for your general mathematics, what calculator are you using most of the time? Any model of calculator can be used, or traditional one also can be used. This is the calculator I use, but this is more advanced. You can use the basic one, is also fine, or just using your handphone to do calculation. But make sure that you have one calculator for this quiz. All right. And make sure that the calculator function you are familiar with. You're familiar with the calculator function. Use the one you always use. You are more familiar. So get ready one calculator during the online quiz. Okay. And this quiz is worth 10% of the overall marks of this semester. So what do you mean by 10%? Okay, in fact, this question, total number of questions consists of 15 multiple choice questions only. 15 multiple choice questions. Each question consists of 4 options only, A, B, C, D. And then you just need to tick the answer that you feel that is more accurate. Okay, 15 questions. Let's say your marks is 12 marks. Okay, let's say your mark score is 12 marks. So how to convert to 10%? Okay, let me calculate. Assume that your score is 12. Yeah. So in order to convert to 10%, what you can do is you use 12 divided by 15. Yeah, and then multiply by 10%. Don't worry, the system is going to automatically calculate for you. Once you attempt the quiz, you submit the quiz, right? Then the system will show you your score for this quiz. Okay. This is how we calculate your score into percentage. So it should be 80%. But it's only but it's only 10%. So we use 10% enough. 10% is because of here, worth 10%. So you get 8 marks. Okay. 8 out of 10 marks. If your score is 12 out of 15. So that means you managed to get 8 marks out of 10 marks for this quiz. That's the meaning. Okay, because got some student ask me, email me about this, how to calculate 10%. It's like that. Okay, using 10%. 10% is because of this one. So each quiz worth 10%. We have 3 quizzes altogether. All right. So far so good. Okay. And once you attempt, then you have to submit the quiz through online. Maybe I can show you the the steps involved by using the practice exercise 1. That will be so that you are more familiar with the system. Okay, I like to use one example to show you how to attempt the quiz using the practice exercise 1. Okay, now I go back to Canvas now. Let me share the screen with all of you. Okay, I'll go to student view so that the view will be the same as what you are going to access. Okay, so this should be your view on Canvas for this unit. Yeah. Okay, so there are a few ways for you to attempt the quiz online. There are a few ways. Okay, so what can you do is you can just need to go to syllabus. You click on the syllabus on the left hand side of the Canvas side. Click on the syllabus button. Okay, so the first section of the section is the unit outline, right? I try to minimize, right? So below the unit outline, you should be able to see, at the moment, you should be able to see the practice exercise 1 and assignment only. Online quiz 1, you should be able to see, but you are not able to click inside the link, okay? But during the actual day of quiz 1, at 4 o'clock sharp, you should be able to click on this and access the quiz. Okay, but at the moment, I don't think you can access. Maybe you can try. I think now is you can only see the instructions. It's locked. Okay, it's only open at 4 o'clock sharp. Okay, so if you've got any problem on that day, you just email me. I'll respond to you. I'll respond to you immediately. I'll be in front of the computer during the online quiz session. So it's locked now. Okay. But you can try to click on the practice exercise 1 because the setup is about the same as the online quiz 1. Okay, so at first you can try to read the instructions. So the instructions for the online quiz 1 also the same like that. Okay, you can try to read through first. Okay, so after you have read through, then you just click on this button, the resume button, in order to start to attempt the quiz, the practice exercise 1. For the quiz also the same. Okay. All right, so generally there are 15 questions altogether. And then the question for the online quiz will be randomized. Okay, and even the answer also will be randomized. So all of you have different set of questions. All of you have different set of questions. Okay, but this 15 question actually test the same scope of the economics concept for chapter 1 until chapter number 4. Okay, until price elasticity of demand and supply. Okay, so each question has 4 options for you to choose. Okay, so let's say this question, we have to make economic decision because of what? Resources are scarce. Okay, this one. All right, so if you think that this answer is correct, just take this. Yeah, so continue the same process for other questions. You can even go back. Okay, let's say you're not sure about question 5, you can go back to here. In fact, let's say, okay, question 5, I can just click on this button. Just go to question 5 to attempt this. Or you can go to question 9 by clicking on the box for 9. Question 9. Let's say I want to go to question 9. Just click on this. Okay. Okay, you may find that also when you attempt the question 1, you may find that there is no more dot here. So that means you already answered. The one with dot, that means you haven't answered yet. Okay. So after completing, attempting the quiz, you just need to click on the submit button, which is on the bottom right hand side of the Canvas side. You click on this button to submit. Okay. So let us see the output. How does the output look like? I haven't finished, but can try to click on the submit button. Got warning. They're ready to submit. Okay, click on submit. The result is 1 out of 15. Then the system will help you to convert the score into percentage. So it's 1 divided by 15, then multiply 10%. So it's 6.67. Okay, 6.67 out of 10%. And then the time used to attempt this quiz is this practice exercise is this time, this duration. Okay, but anyway, for practice exercise, you can attempt as many times as possible. Okay, you can attempt as many times as possible because this is to help you to be familiar and also do revision for the first 4 chapters. Okay, so any questions so far on the setup of the online quiz? Any problems so far? Okay for that? So far so good? Okay. Also, don't worry for practice exercise, so you can try as many times as possible because the marks will not be counted in your final score. Okay, it's only for practice purpose. So you can try as many times as possible if you want. Okay, I go back to the slide again. Okay, then what are the chapters that you need to focus for this quiz? Okay, so generally, this online quiz one will cover first 4 chapters that you already studied, which are including chapter 1. For chapter 1, you must know the basic economic problems. Can you still recall what are the basic economic problems? There are three basic economic problems. Can you? I try to share the screen. Sorry. Okay. All right. So for chapter 1, the most important areas that you need to know will be the basic economic problems. Can you recall what are the basic economic problems? There are 3, in fact. Can you recall? What is the main purpose we want to study economics? What is the main reason we want to study economics? Anybody? Any reason we want to study economics? Why? What is the main problem in the world according to economists? What is the main problem? Anybody? Maybe I call your name. Alvin Teo, are you here? Alvin? Alvin, are you here? No, Alvin Teo.
Hello. Hear me?
Yeah, what is the main problem? What is the reason we want to study economics?
Scarcity, choices, and opportunity.
Yeah, scarcity. What is the issue about scarcity?
Not enough resources. Not enough resources.
Yeah, so that means the world has limited resources to fulfill unlimited needs and wants of human, right? Because the resources available in the world are limited, that can fulfill the unlimited needs and wants of human. Okay, and this is called as scarcity. Yeah, so that is the reason why we want to study economics. Yeah, because we want to learn how to use the limited resources so that this can fulfill the unlimited needs and wants of human beings in the world. Yeah, that is the main issue, scarcity. So due to scarcity, what is the another problem that occur? If we have scarcity in resources, right, then what is the next problem that will happen? Anybody? Is Christina here? Christina, are you here? So if you have scarcity, then what is the next problem that we need to face? Anybody? Maybe I call your name. How about Edwin? Edwin Chin. Can you answer, Edwin Chin? Scarcity will lead to what? issue.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Opportunity cost.
Before that?
Before that.
In between scarcity and opportunity cost, there is another problem. In the economics that need to be solved. Anybody can help? Pardon? Rachel, are you talking?
Choices and opportunity cost. Choices.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Due to scarcity, human need to make choices, right? On what to produce, how to produce, and to whom to produce. Human need to make choices on what to produce, how to produce, and to whom to produce. Okay. All right. So when people make choices, then what is going to happen then? These are involve opportunity cost, right? So when people make choices on what to produce, how to produce, and to whom to produce, then these are involve opportunity cost. Okay, opportunity cost will happen if when people make the decision to produce the best choice of products or service by using the limited resources. Opportunity cost is going to occur. Yeah. So what is the meaning of opportunity cost then? What is the meaning? Any idea? What is the meaning of opportunity cost? Anybody open to discussion? What is the meaning of opportunity cost then? What is that? Anybody? Volunteer?
Value of the best alternative that is foregone for a better satisfaction.
Correct. So that is the value of the second best alternative that have to be forgone in order to obtain the best value of product or service. So opportunity cost is referred to the second best alternative that have to be forgone. The second best only. The third best and fourth best are not counted as opportunity cost. Opportunity cost only include the second best alternative. The third best, fourth best, fifth best, these are no longer opportunity cost. Only the second best alternative is the opportunity cost for choosing the first best option of product or service. Okay, so don't confuse about the definition of opportunity cost. Like I think I have one slide. There is one question in my lecture slide. Let me try to share. I emphasize this because I just want to ensure that you can understand the concept of opportunity cost. Okay, let us. I'll share one slide from chapter 1. Let me try to open chapter 1. Okay, this question, hold on, I try to share with all of you. Okay, so this question, we try to revise again. Assuming that Alex has $2, he has only $2 for buying the following items. Okay, there are a few options for him to choose. It can be a candy bar cost $2, okay, or a banana cost $1, or an apple cost 50 cents. Okay, so if Alex choose to buy candy bar, that means he fully utilizes $2 to buy candy bar. Then what is his opportunity cost then? His opportunity cost can be he has to forgo. It can be 2 bananas, right? Because 2 bananas also worth $2, right? or he has to forego 4 apples. 4 apples, why? Because 1 apple worth 50 cents. So 4 apples is equivalent to also $2 as well. Or he has to forego 1 banana and 2 apples. Let me see. There is one question is about, I think it's this question. Okay. This question only tests understanding on opportunity cost. Okay, let's try to revise this question again. So during the time when Susanna took an economics online quiz, she could practice her violin or done her mathematics homework. And she thinks that if she have not taken the online quiz, she would have done her mathematics homework. So her opportunity cost of taking the online quiz is the value of which one? Which is the answer? Okay, let us try to check what are the activities that can be done by her. So she can either do the online quiz, or she can also practice violin. Another option is she can also practice her mathematics homework. Okay, so there are 3 possible activities that can be performed by her. Okay, if she think that she have not taken the online quiz, she will have done okay. Her opportunity of taking the online quiz is the value of what? So what is the opportunity cost if she attempt the online quiz? Assume that among these 3 activities she choose to attempt the economics online quiz. Then what is her opportunity cost then? For this question, it does not inform which one is the second best option, which one is the third best. We don't know. We don't know. So for this, the answer can be either practice violin or the time to do the mathematics homework. Okay. So in this case here, option C is the better answer. Yeah. Because for this question, we don't know among these 3 activities, which one is the second option, which one is the third best option, we don't know. But we know that the best option is, in this case, there should be economics online quiz. So in this case here, the answer for opportunity cost, it can be the time used to practice the violin or time used to do the mathematics homework. Okay, so there are 2 possible answers in this case here. But if the second option is none, is given, then confirm there is only one answer. Okay, so depends on the question. You have to read the question properly. Okay. Okay, so far so good about the 3 economic problems: scarcity, choices, and opportunity cost. Okay, for all of you. So far so good, All right. Then okay, then the next slide would be the PPC, or we call as PPF, the possible production curve, or we call it as the production possibility frontier. All right. So from this PPT or the PPF or PPC, can anybody inform me? Okay. If a country would like to produce combination of CD and in this case is bottles of water, bottled water. So for PPT or PPF, we only assume that a country or a nation can only produce 2 things only, 2 products only. So for this example, a country can only produce either CD or bottled water. Only 2 products can be produced in this case here. So if the country would like to maximize the resources used to produce combination of CD and bottled water, so which point should the country choose? Which production point should the country choose to produce then? What do you think? Which point can help the country to maximize the utility of resources? Which point, if you based on the graph, based on the PPC or the PPF, which point should the country choose to produce? Any idea? Which point? Any response? We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. On the graph, yeah. Which combination point should be chosen by a country or a nation or economy, yeah, in order to maximize utilization of the resources? Anybody? Volunteer? We have, how about Ahel? Ahel, Inesh, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, I go back to the PowerPoint slide again. So in the exam, in the quiz, if you are given the PPC or the PPF, so among this production combination, which point are you going to choose so that can fully utilize the resources? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
The one along the line.
Correct. Yeah. So where are the points? Yes,
A,
correct.
B, C, D, E, F.
Yes. So A, B, C, D, E, F all can be considered, yeah, by the country to produce combination of CD and water. Because the points along the PPF or PPC can help the country to utilize the resources fully. Okay. All right. Then how about production combination of H then? Is that good? Point H, is that good?
No.
Not good, Why not good?
Resources are used inefficiently.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Why? Why efficiently used? So what can the country do, in fact? Because at point H, the nation can only produce 3 million of bottled water per year and 5 million of CD per year. So in fact, the country still have extra resources, okay, I will call as input, to produce either more CD or more bottled water. Okay, so that means point H, for point H, the resources are not fully utilized fully, and in fact, the country still can increase the quantity of production for CD and also bottled water. So that means H is not efficient, but attainable, achievable, but it's not efficient. Okay, then I'll call another student again. Thank you, Ashok. Then how about okay, I'll move to, because Asutra joined late, right? So it's okay. So I think you already missed chapter 1, so it's okay. I'll skip you. I'll go to Amara. Amara Jong, are you here? Amara, are you here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like to test your understanding on point G. Point G. So what is the problem of point G?
Unattainable.
Why? Why not attainable?
Because limited resources.
Yes, correct. Because the country has limited resources to achieve point G, not enough resources. Okay. Okay, good. All right. All right. So if the country want to achieve G, point G, that means the country has to shift the PPC or PPF to the right-hand side, so that the country have more resources to produce or to achieve point G, right? So the resources can be increased by some factors, right? Okay, can you remember what are the 4 factors of production that we have studied? Okay, I'll call your name. So in order to shift the PPF or PPC to the right-hand side, the country have to increase the factors of production. Factors of production means the resources to produce products from input to output. The resources, we need resources, all right? The country need resources in order to achieve point G, extra resources. Then what are the resources that have to be increased by the country so that point G can be achieved in the future? Maybe can. So how to increase the factors of production? What are the factors of production that we have studied so far? Anson? Are you here, Anson Yong?
Yes.
Anson Yong? Yes.
Yeah.
What are the factors of production that we have studied so far?
The production developed better technology.
Okay. Okay. So that means the country can try to increase the technology, yeah, so they can have more efficient way to produce the products. Good. Okay. Then Ashley, Ngui.
Yeah.
Yes.
Improve quality of labor.
Quality or quantity?
Quality.
Quality of labor, how?
Send people to train.
Go for training, education, right? Provide education to them so that they have knowledge, and once they have knowledge, then this can improve the productivity of the workers in the country, right? So workers is also one of the factors of production. Workers is also called as labor. So it's also one of the factors of production. Then technology here, this can increase the capital. Okay, capital is also one of the resources. Capital can be machine. Capital are referred to the completed products. Okay, they already produced before, and this capital will be used to generate more output in the future. Capital are the machine that can be used to generate more outputs in future. Okay. Then Becky Ting, right? Becky Ting, are you here, Becky? No, Becky.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So just now, okay, Anson and Ashley already informed that. Okay, there are two factors of production can be used to shift the PPF or PPC of the country to the right hand side, which are capital and also labor. Okay. So besides these two factors of production, any other factors of production that you have studied in this chapter that can help the country to increase productivity? Any other two factors that you can consider, you can remember, factors of production besides labor and also capital? Can you recall any other factors of production in your mind? Any other factors of production that you can remember that can transform the input into output? Can you recall, Becky Ting? Cannot. Okay, then
Develop better technologies.
Yeah. Technology can be considered as capital.
Develop.
Labor, yes, already included. Already mentioned by Ashley.
Not better.
Cannot hear you. Yeah. Then it's okay. Then we move to the next person. Charissa Teo. Carissa Teo, are you here? No? Then
Yes.
Charlene. Who is speaking? Carissa.
Yeah.
Yes. So besides labor and capital, any other factors of production are important for a country in production process?
Labor and capital.
Labor already mentioned by Ashley. Any more? Remember, we have studied 4 factors of production, right? These four factors of production also, these are the limited resources, scarcity of resources. So there are four, in fact. There are four scarcity of resources.
Public goods.
No. Four factors of production. Factors of production. Factors of production means can be the input. Input. Public goods are the output. Already produced public goods. Public goods are output already. What I mean would be the materials. Okay, the input, the materials to produce output. And we call this as factors of production. Anybody volunteer?
Entrepreneurship.
Yes, we also need people. We also need people with business mind. Entrepreneurs. We need entrepreneurs as well. To transform the input into output as well. Okay, people with business mind to coordinate the resources, which include the capital and also the labor. And another one. Okay, volunteer. Any more?
Land.
Any more production? Yes, land. Okay, land will be referred to the natural resources, like water, energy, sand, mineral. These are natural resources, right? And we need the entrepreneurs who have business mind to coordinate the natural resources, which are the land, categorized as land, to coordinate the labor, human capital, and also the capital such as machine, coordinate all these resources together to produce output in order to meet the needs and wants of human. Okay? So there are four factors of production. So these are inputs. So far, so good? Okay. Okay. So after we have studied the factors of production, do you know what are the returns will be received by these four factors of production? Okay, let me try to share the slide. I think I haven't, I do not put here, so maybe I can put it here. I add some more space. Okay, I just put somewhere. Okay, so just now we already learned four factors of production, right? Which are land, labor. Labor means the workers, right? Human, and capital. Capital means machine. And the last one is enterprise or entrepreneur. Entrepreneur means people with business mind, who know how to coordinate land, labor, capital, so that the input can be transformed into output. Okay, do you know what is the return that can be received by these four factors of production? The return. Can you recall the return for land? Let's say now you have resources of land. So what return can the owner of land resources receive? Answer is?
Rent.
Rent. Okay, good. So I just use, I don't have the arrow. I just simply, yes, I have arrow here. Oh no, I don't want to use this one. I use the insert symbol better. Okay, insert the symbol object. I use symbol better. All right, I use the arrow button. Okay. Just simply put. Okay, so just now, okay, land will receive rent, or we call it rental, rent or rental. Okay, how about labor? What is the revert for labor? For those who are working, then what can the workers receive? Labor will receive, wages, right? Yes, or salaries, So it's going to receive salaries or wages. Good. Okay, I try to use arrow. Okay. So the answer can be salary or wages. Yeah, salary. Okay, or wage. I use other. Okay, then how about capital? Capital means for those who have machine, who have a big machine. Usually the big machine is very expensive, right? Very expensive. Need to, and the businessman may not be able to purchase this big capital, the big machine, by using cash. Sometimes may not be because it's too expensive and may need to have many units, many quantity to produce products. Big machine again. Car can be considered, transportation can be also considered as capital. For the school bus service, for those companies that run the school bus service may also need to buy bus to carry students, right? And this is also capital. So for capital usually is expensive, and the businessman may not be able to buy the product at once, and or also by using cash. It's not easy. It's not. Then how then? Then the businessman can just borrow money, right? Borrow money from bank or from financial institutions. Okay. So if borrow money from bank, then do you know what is the payment need to be made by the borrower? If you borrow money from bank, then what do you need to pay to the bank?
Interest.
Yes, you have to pay interest, right? So the return, okay, for allowing the businessman to get the capital would be the interest, right? So usually the bank will lend money to the businessman. So in return, the bank will receive interest. So I use this symbol. Right? And then how about the return for businessman and entrepreneur or enterprise? Okay, what return?
Profit or loss?
Yes, correct. Yeah, can be profit or loss. Depends on how good the businessman manage the business. Okay, or it can be a loss. So far, any question on this part? This is also important, for this chapter. Any questions so far on these 4 factors of production? So this land, labor, capital, enterprise are called as factors of production. Yeah. All right, so chapter 1 already done. So far so good, Okay, then we'll move on to chapter 2, quick one. Okay. So in chapter 2, there are 2 major things that we have already learned. In chapter 2, we learn the 3 basic economic questions, okay, to solve the economic problems. In chapter 1, we already learned the 3 economic problems are scarcity, choices, and also opportunity cost. So in order to address these 3 problems, then there are 3 questions that have to be answered by an economy or a nation or a country. And there are 3 basic economic questions that need to be answered. So the 3 questions will be what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Okay? What to produce, how to produce and how to produce. So how to produce here, that means the country can either produce necessity goods. Okay, necessity goods means the goods that have to be consumed by everybody, no matter their income level, necessity goods.
Sir?
Like electricity. Yes, can you see the PowerPoint slide? Okay, you cannot see, okay, hold on. Okay, hold on. I try to go back again. Can you see this PowerPoint slide? Okay, so in chapter 1, we already learned the 3 economic problems, which are scarcity, choice, and opportunity cost. Then in chapter 2, okay, the first part that we learned would be the 3 questions that have to be answered, okay, by human in order to solve the economic problems. So what are the 3 questions? The 3 questions are what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. What to produce would be what type of products have to be produced. It can be necessity goods, okay, and also public goods. Necessity goods are the goods that have to be consumed by the human, no matter what is the income level, have to consume almost every day. Necessity goods like water, electricity, these are necessity goods. And besides that, the human also need public goods. Public goods are the goods that everybody have the right to consume. You cannot stop anybody for not consuming. Okay, these are public goods. Okay, such as utility or transportation, public transportation, or public school, public library. These are public goods. Okay, anybody can consume. You cannot stop anybody for not consuming the public goods. Okay. Okay, then the second question will be how to produce. So generally there are 2 methods to produce the products. How to produce means methods to produce the products, to produce the service. So far we already learned 2 methods. Can you recall what are the 2 methods that we have studied? How to produce the product. How then? We have studied 2 methods so far in the lecture. Can you recall? Either is using more human or using more capital. Can you recall?
Cable
So it depends on the resources. Yeah. So a country can use. Yeah, correct. So a country can either use more capital or use more human to produce products or services. So it depends on the resources available in the country. If the developing countries, developing countries means more poor country. Usually they have more people and cheaper level. So in this case, the developing country or the third world country can use more human to produce products. But for developed countries such as US, UK, more developed countries, then they can use more capital because they have more technology that can reduce the production cost. So those countries can use more capital to produce products. Okay, so this can solve the question of how to produce. Okay, third question is for whom to produce means who can enjoy the products or service produced by the country. Who can enjoy? Who can receive? So in order to answer this question, these 3 questions actually depends on the economic system adopted by a country. Okay, what type of economic system that want to be adopted by a country? Okay, so generally we have studied 3 types of economic system. 3 types. So can you recall what are the 3 types of economic system that we have studied so far? Anybody? We have studied 3 types of economic systems. Can you recall anybody? 3 economic system.
Common, market, and mixed economy.
Correct. Yeah. Common, market, and mixed economy. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. But be careful because for each economic system we may have different names. So you have to be familiar with the terms used. Okay, so what is another name for command economy then? Another name to represent command economy? Anybody? Command economy is also called as?
Socialism.
Correct, socialism. You better take a note, because sometimes in the quiz may use different terms. All right, so you better jot down. Okay, I just put here now. So just now we already studied the command economy. And command economy is also called as socialism. So I use this. Okay. Okay. Remember, we have another word again to represent command economy. Besides socialism, socialism is also called as what type of economy? Command economy. Planned economy. So it's also called as planned economy. Okay. Then on the other hand, the far end, just now we have mentioned about the free market economy. Sometimes it's also called as free economy, market economy. Sometimes it's called free market economy. Free market economy, or free economy, or market economy. So these are referred to. Also refer to what term? Free economy is also called as what type of economy is that? Any other word we can use to represent or to describe free market economy? What is the term we use to represent free economy? For central bank, okay, yes.
Capitalism.
Yes, capitalism. All right. So in between, okay, the planned economy and the free market economy, then there is another type of economic system what we call as mixed economic system. So mixed economic system is the combination, is using mixture of the socialism and capitalism economic system. Okay. And what is the reason we want to study or to understand the economic system is because each economic system will have different way to answer these three economic questions. So the economic questions, how to answer the question depends on what type of economic system that will be used by a country or a nation or an economy. Okay. All right. So for the socialism, who will decide what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce? Who will decide? Under
government.
The government only, right? Only the government that involve the we call it as the government central authority will decide what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Okay, everything decided by government. And the individual private firms and household means the consumer or the buyers. Okay, they have no right to own any properties at all. No property right on ownership. Okay, they are not allowed to own any properties. Only the government can own properties. Yeah. So how to produce, what to produce, and for whom to produce, all will be decided by the government under the socialism. Okay, then we go back to another end. Then how about the capitalism then? Who will decide what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce then?
Market mechanism.
Yes, the market mechanism is referred to the demand and supply. Demand means the buyer, right? Supplies mean the seller. Seller head will be the individual firms. Individual firms. So this supplier will be referred to the private firms. So maybe I can add some more information here. Yeah. So demand is referred to the buyers. Buyers. Okay. So sometimes it's also called as households. Okay, households. Then supply will be referred to. Okay, I try to increase. I try to move to somewhere here so they can see. Supply is referred to sellers. Okay. Or it's referred to the firms. We call it as private firms or firms only. Okay. Private firms. Okay. So private firms or sellers are referred to the supply in the market. So far so good. All right. Then how about government in the free market economy? Is government going to involve to answer these three economic questions? Answer is no. In the capitalism, the pure capitalism, government is not going to involve or interfere when solving these three economic questions. Government is not going to involve. Only the private sector and also the household will make the decision. Okay. So what to produce is depends on the consumer preference. So if the goods have high demand, many people want to buy, then the supplier will produce more. Okay. The products which are not really high demand and not really can get profit, like public goods, cannot get much profit, and these public goods will not be produced because it's very costly to produce, like electricity, water, really need high certain costs. It's not profitable. So public goods will not usually not be produced enough for the citizen in the country, for public goods. So this is the disadvantage for capitalism. Okay. But the advantage is there are variety of goods will be produced, right? Because this is based on the consumer preference. There will be a lot of goods can be produced, variety, right? Many brands. Okay, how to produce the products is will be suggested by the supplier. Supplier will choose the most cheapest way. Okay, the cheapest way to produce the product, the methods with the lowest cost. That will help the supplier to decide how to produce using the cheapest method. For whom to produce? For whom to produce will be those who are able to pay, can enjoy the products. Okay, the products only produced to those who are able to pay. Okay, so that means the people with low income or poor people will have lesser opportunity to enjoy the goods and services produced in the capitalism economic system. Okay, so this is the problem for capitalism. Okay, then mix will be, how about mix? Mixed economy is a mixture of the socialism and capitalism. So in the mixed economic system, in fact, most of the countries now mostly are using mixed economy. It's just like some are leans to socialism, some are maybe linked to the capitalism. Okay, so the three economic questions under the mixed economic system will be answered by both government and the private firms and consumer. So these three questions, okay, will be answered by government and also the private firms and consumer to determine what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. Okay, so far, any question on this chapter 2? Any questions so far? All right, okay. Next, chapter 3. Chapter 3 is actually, okay, we already learned, actually chapter 3 consists of 3 parts, demand, supply, and also market equilibrium. Okay, there are 3 sections for chapter number 3. Okay, so in section 1, we already studied demand. So at the stage now, you should be able to know what is the meaning of law of demand. So what is the belief from the law of demand? Anybody? Law of demand. What is the belief? Law of demand. Are you familiar with that? What is the assumption or the belief from the law of demand? What is the belief?
Quantity demanded and price is negatively related.
Yeah, so that means there is a negative relationship between the product price and quantity demanded. Okay, that means that if the product price is increasing, if product price is increasing, then the quantity demanded for that product will reduce because it's more expensive now. When the price of the product increasing, that means it's more expensive. So this will reduce the quantity demanded. So as a result, there is a negative relationship between product price and quantity demanded. So this is the belief from the law of demand. So if you draw the demand curve by using x-axis as the quantity demanded and then y-axis as the price, you may find that when you jot down the information into a graph, you may find that you'll get a negative slope demand curve. Okay. So the movement along the demand curve is called as change of quantity demanded. Change of quantity demanded is involving movement along the demand curve. It's called as change of quantity demanded. So it's moving along. Okay? It's due to the price change. So in this case, I use car as the example. So if the car price, let's say now the car price reduce. Okay, the car price reduce from 80 to 40, then you may find that the quantity demanded will increase from 4,000 to 8,000. Okay, so this involves the movement along the demand curve, or we call it as change in quantity demanded. So far so good. All right. Okay, besides the price, there are some factors may shift the demand curve either to the left or to the right hand side. Shift is different from move. Movement is along. Okay, it's along the demand curve, original demand curve. But shift is the shipment to the new demand curve. Okay, shipment to the new demand. It can be to the left or to the right. Okay, and we call this as change in demand. Change in demand. So there are few factors will shift the demand curve to the right hand side, or we call it as shift rightward. So I use the car as example again. Okay. Do you know what are the factors that can shift the demand curve to the right hand side, even though the price remain the same? The price of the car, let's say the car price remain the same, but there are few factors can shift the demand curve to the right hand side, although the price of the car remain the same. Okay, and we call this as change in demand or change in car demand in this case here. So what are the factors may shift the demand curve to the right that it will increase the demand of the car? Here we call it increase the demand. From Q0 to Q1 means increase demand. It's no longer using the word increase quantity demanded. It's using the word increase demand. So what are the factors? The factors can be when the consumer income increasing. Okay, because when people have more income, then the purchasing power will increase. Right, so then people will have more money to buy car. So this will increase the demand for car from Q0. Okay, even though the price of the car is still the same. Okay, so consumer income will shift the demand curve for car to the right hand side. Any other factors? Okay, I put here some. Another factor would be because of the preference on car. Okay, more people like to use car now maybe. Instead of using motorbike, people like to use car. The buying behavior changed now, the preference changed. Now people like to use car instead of using motorbike or public transport. Then this can also increase the demand for car and shift the demand curve to the right hand side. Okay. Next factor will be expected future car price. If the consumer expect that maybe, okay, next month the car price is going to increase. Okay. If the consumer expect, just estimate only, the car price is going to increase in the future. If that's the case, then some of the customer will buy the car now. They'll quickly buy the car now because they expect that the car price will increase in the future. So they'll buy now, even though the car price now is still the same. Okay, still at the PO, no change. But people expect that the car price is going to increase. If that's the case, now at the moment, okay, you may expect more people are going to buy car. If more people buy car due to future expectation of car increase, then this will shift the demand curve for car to the right hand side as well. Okay, okay. Next factor will be the substitute price. Let's say, okay, do you know what is the meaning of substitute? Substitute products. Anybody? Do you know what is the meaning of substitute products? Substitute products are the product that you can interchange. Okay, the consumer can interchange. These are two alternative products that can be switched by the consumer. Yeah, for consumption. The substitute for car can be motorbike, can be public transport. I give you some example. For car, what are the substitute for car? Substitute for car can be motorbike, public transport, right? Bicycle, all the transportation mode can be considered as substitute of. Okay, so assume that now the motorbike price increasing. So that means the motorbike is more expensive. Relatively more expensive compared to before, more expensive now. So what is the impact to the car then? You may find that some of the consumer may switch their consumption for motorbike to car now. Some of the consumer will change their transportation mode from motorbike to car. Okay, because now motorbike price is increasing. It's more expensive to maintain the motorbike now. For some of the consumer who used to consume motorbike, will shift to consume car then. Some of them, not all, some of them. If that's the case, this also shift the demand curve for car to the right hand side, just like this diagram. Okay, shift to the right. But you may find that the price of the car is still the same. But because the motorbike price not increasing, this will as a result, this is going to increase the demand for car. So the next consequence will be increased demand for car. I'll use insert. Close. Car demand. When the car demand increasing, this will shift the demand curve to the right hand side. Okay, the next factor will be complement price. What is the meaning of complement? Any idea? Complement. What do you mean by complement then? Complement means when the two products have to use at the same time, have to use together. Two products have to use together means complement. Complement products are the products have to use at the same time or together. Like for instance, the complement for car will be petrol. Okay, petrol, battery. These are the parts have to be used at the same time together with the whole car, right? Complement. Without petrol, without battery, without tire, the car cannot functioning. Okay, so let us try to use petrol as example. So petrol is the complement of for car. All right. So let's assume that now the petrol price reducing. If petrol price reducing, so that means the maintenance cost, okay, for having a car now is lesser now, right? Because petrol price is reducing now. That means it's cheaper to own a car now, because every week have to buy petrol, right? But if cheaper now, that means maintenance cost for having a car now is lower. If lower, then this will increase the car demand. This will increase the car demand. Okay, and shift the demand curve to the right hand side. Okay, can you see the relationship between these two? I try to highlight these two first. Okay. So in short, you may found that right. Actually, the substitute price and the car demand have positive relationship. Can you see? Increase, both increase, right? So that means the substitute price and car demand have positive relationship, both increase, right? On the other hand, the complement price, if the complement price reduces, you may find that the demand for car will increase. So that means complement price and car demand have negative relationship. Can you see? Okay, can you observe these two? All right. Okay, done. So this one I try to make it smaller. So emphasize this because sometimes the question may ask, may test your understanding on this. Okay. So demand side, okay, already. Chapter this is chapter 3, the first part. Okay, then second part. Second part I'll move to the supply side. I think it's already jammed because I have added too many things. Okay, I need to unsave this and then I try to reopen the file again. Okay, now we'll move to the second part of chapter 3, which is supply side. So the first thing that you need to know will be the law of supply. Okay, I try to share the document again. Okay, so what is the belief for the law of supply? Anybody? So what is the belief for the law of supply? Anybody? Maybe I'll call your name. Chonvon, Lee Chonvon. Are you here? Lee Chengvon. No? Cindy? Cindy Xia.
Yes.
Yeah, Cindy, do you know what is the belief from the law of supply?
Price and quantity supply have positive relationship.
Okay, can you repeat? Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Price and quantity supply have positive relationship.
Correct. Yeah. So that means product price, a product price and quantity supply have positive relationship. Okay. So that means when price of the product increasing, then you may expect the quantity supply will increase also. That is the belief from the law of supply. Why? Okay. For instance, I use milk as example. If the milk price increasing, you may find that there will be more supplier will go in to the industry and produce more milk. Why? Because it's more profitable now. When the price, let's say, increasing from P1 to P2 for milk, you may find that quantity supply of milk will increase from Q1 to Q2. Why? Because when the price of the milk increasing, it's more profitable for the supplier or the firm to produce more milk and generate more income. So the movement from point A to point B is involving change of quantity supply. Movement from A to B means the change of quantity supply. change of quantity supply. And this movement is because of the change of the milk price, increasing from P1 to P2. So the main factor is only the price of the product itself. So in this case, it's price of the milk itself. No other factors. We assume other factors remain the same. That means ceteris paribus. Okay, other factors remain the same. Only the price of the milk product increasing. Okay. So this one I will try to make it smaller. Okay, but in reality, the milk supply curve may shift to the right or shift to the left. In reality, can happen in reality. This one I delete. And the shiftment of the supply curve to the right hand side is due to the change in demand for milk. Change in demand for milk. From Q1 to Q2 means change in demand of milk. We cannot use the word quantity demanded anymore. We have to use the word demand, change of milk demand. You may find that actually the price of the milk is still the same at P1, but it's only change in quantity of the milk. Okay, this will shift the supply curve to the right hand side. Okay, then you may ask, then what are the factors may shift the demand curve to the right hand side then? Okay, so among the factors will be this. Okay, it can be because there are more sellers in the market now. There are more milk sellers or producers in the market. Okay, when there are more producers producing milk, sure, this will increase the supply for the milk. But the increase of supply is due to the number of sellers increasing. It's not because of the price of the milk increasing, but it's only number of producers increasing now. If that's the case, this will shift the milk supply curve to the right hand side. Okay, another factor can be because of production cost to produce the milk now decreasing. Production cost, it can be because the raw materials now reducing. Labor cost is cheaper now. These are the production costs. Labor cost may be cheaper now. Maybe you have now new technology that can help to produce more milk. Okay, or we have new technology can help to reduce the production cost. This can all reduce the production cost. So once the production cost reduce, this will shift the supply curve to the right hand side. So bear in mind, production cost only affect the supply curve, not the demand curve. I repeat, bear in mind, production cost curve is affected by these factors. Okay, but supply curve can be affected by this one. Okay, so production cost is not in this category. Production cost is under the supply side. Okay. Okay, next factor will be substitute in production. So substitute in production means the product that can be switched by the supplier because that product is alternative product that can be consumed by the consumer. Alternative products. So example of alternative products for milk would be, let's say, soya bean. Soya bean can be one of the substitute product for milk, right? So let's say now assume that the soya bean price reducing. If soya bean price reducing, that means it's cheaper now. It's cheaper now. It's cheaper. I mean the price is cheaper. Okay, it's cheaper for soya bean. If cheaper, right, that means it's not good. It's not good for producer. It's good for the consumer, but it's not good for the producer. Why? Because if the soybean price reducing, that means the producer of soybean will have lesser profit. Okay, producer of soybean will have lesser profit. If that is the case, some of the soybean producer will try to switch their production to produce other product. Okay, they will reduce the production for soybean, and their resources will be used to produce other alternative products such as milk, for instance. And when this case happen, this will increase the supply for milk and shift the supply curve to the right hand side. Okay. So if the soybean price reducing, so that means some of the producer will try to increase the production for milk. Some of them will switch to produce more milk now. Okay. Oh, cancel. Okay. So if that's the case, right, this will increase supply. Milk supply. So when the milk supply increasing, this will shift the supply curve to the right. Okay, so last factor that will shift the supply curve to the right will be complement in production. Complement in production means two products are produced at the same time. Okay, two products are produced at the same time. So the example will be milk and cream. Okay, when producing milk, right, the producer also have to produce cream. Cream will come out. It will be produced automatically. Yeah. So let's say now, okay, if the cream price increasing, if the cream price increasing, that means the supplier will produce more cream because it's more profitable now. Supplier will produce more cream. So in order to produce more cream, that means the supplier also have to produce more milk, right? In order to increase the supply for cream. So this will shift the supply of milk to the right hand side as well. So these are the factors. Okay, so let us try to check the relationship. Milk supply. Okay, you may find that actually the substitute in production price and the milk supply, right, have negative relationship. However, the complement price and the milk supply have positive relationship. Okay, increase. So these are the things that you need to know, for second part of chapter 3. So far so good? Okay. Okay, next we'll move on to the third part of chapter 3, which is market equilibrium. I try to share the screen again one more time. Okay, market equilibrium. What's the meaning of market equilibrium? Anybody? Market equilibrium. I try to type somewhere. Market equilibrium. Okay, so what is going to happen when the market is at the equilibrium point? Anybody? When the market, right, is at the equilibrium point, what is the meaning?
The quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supply.
Correct, good. Yeah, so that means that at the equilibrium level, okay, so if I put so when the market is at equilibrium, it means quantity demanded, okay, is equal to quantity supplied. Or it can be another way around. It can be quantity is supplied equal to quantity demand. Same meaning. Okay. So this is what we mean by market equilibrium. So if you check, okay, let's say this diagram. Let's say this is the demand curve. This is the supply curve. So when the demand curve and supply curve intersect, that is the equilibrium point. Okay, which is the pink point. And this is the market equilibrium point. So when the quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied, which is the pink point here. All right. So at the market equilibrium point, this is for the drinking water, bottled water. So you may found that and then the quantity demanded and supplied is equal to 10 bottles per day. Okay. So this level is called as market price level, and then this is the market. This is the equivalent quantity level. Okay. So what happens if the market price is above one? Let's say now, okay, I use the example. Okay, is below than $1. Let's say this one. What happens if the market price now is below than the equivalent price, which is 75 cents only? Let's say. Okay. Assume that now the market price is only 75 cents for the bottled water. So you may find that at the 75 cents, right, the quantity demanded is at this point, which is 11 million. The quantity supplied is 9 million. So that means the quantity demanded is more than quantity supplied, right? At the price below the equivalent point. So this scenario, what is the meaning of this scenario? That means there is a shortage. Okay, this is called shortage. Shortage of how much? Shortage of 2 million of drinking water. Shortage. So shortage happens when the quantity demanded is more than quantity supplied. Okay. This is not scarcity. Shortage is happen when quantity and this happen at the price below than the market equilibrium. It's below than the market equilibrium point. So when the surplus, when the shortage happen, what is going to happen then? Okay, if we have shortage in the market, you may find that actually, right, the market mechanism will force the quantity demanded to reduce and force the quantity supplied to increase until the quantity demanded and quantity supplied are equal at this point. Okay, the market forces are automatic, adjust the quantity demanded and quantity supplied to force them, okay, to do some changes, adjustment, so that the quantity demanded will equal to quantity supplied again at this pink point. All right. Then on the other hand, what happens if the price level now is above the market equivalent price? Then let's say this. Okay, let's say $1.50 now. So at this price is above the market equivalent point. So at this price, we may find that the quantity supplied is more than quantity demanded. Okay, and the difference is called as surplus. Surplus. So surplus only happens when the quantity supply is more than quantity demanded. So what is going to happen? Then the market forces is going to force the quantity supply and quantity demand to adjust the quantity again, until quantity supply and quantity demand are equal at this point again. Go back again to the equivalent point. So this is how market mechanism work without government intervention. The market mechanism will try to force the quantity supply to reduce and quantity demand to increase again. Okay, and this will reduce the price continuously, until quantity supply is equal to quantity demanded. So for this slide is you have to understand the meaning of shortage and also surplus, different meaning. And then you must know when does this happen. So shortage happen when there is excess demand. That means quantity demand is more than quantity supply. Surplus happen when there is more supply in the market. Okay. So far so good, quite easy, All right. And then market equivalent. Okay. For this one is okay. There are 4 different scenarios. For market equivalent. Okay. Assume that now. Let's say the first scenario is when the demand increase. That means this will shift the demand curve. Okay, is refer to this slide. This one shift to the right. So before that, the equivalent point. Okay, this one I try to bring to front. So you may find that before that, right, the equivalent point was here. If the demand curve shifts to the right, that means this is a new equivalent point down. So at this new equivalent point, you may find that both equivalent price and equivalent quantity increasing, both increasing for the first scenario. Okay. All right. So both increasing for quantity and price. How about second scenario? Second scenario is when the demand reducing. If the demand reducing, that means the demand curve will shift to the left-hand side. And this is the new equivalent point now. So you may find that you compare, this is original equivalent point, this is the new equivalent point. So at the new equivalent point, you may find that both equivalent price and also the quantity reducing. Both equivalent price and equivalent quantity reducing when the demand curve shift to the left-hand side. Okay, I stop for a while. Any questions so far? Okay, all right. If no, then I just move to the next scenario. Third scenario is when the supply curve shift to the right, okay, increasing. So assume that the original point is here, equivalent point is here. So when the supply curve shift to the right-hand side, that means the supply curve is this one now, is this line. So where is the new equivalent point? Yeah, the pink color. Yeah. So now under the new equivalent point, the new quantity is 11. And then the new equivalent price is 75 cents. You compare with the old one. Before that, it was $1, now reduced to 75 cents. So that means that the equivalent price will reduce, right? But the equivalent quantity will increase when the supply curve shift to the right-hand side. So when you see this type of question, it's better for you to draw the diagram by yourself. No need to show to the examiner, just for yourself only to refer. Okay. Okay, last one. Last scenario will be when the supply curve shift to the left-hand side or the supply reduce. So this is the curve. I try to move to here. Okay. So originally, the market equivalent point is at this point, right? So when the supply curve shift to the left-hand side, that means the market equivalent point now is here. This one. So at this point, you may find that the market price increasing, but the market quantity reducing. Okay. So in short, you can conclude when the supply reducing, this will reduce the equivalent quantity, but increase the equivalent price. Okay. So you can refer to this diagram to help you to answer this type of question. Okay. So far so good for chapter 3. Any questions so far? All right, last chapter, that will be the price elasticity of demand and supply. So in chapter 3, we already learned a lot of demand and a lot of supply, right? But in chapter 3, these two laws do not inform us to what extent the quantity demanded and quantity supply will change in response to price. The law of demand and law of supply only inform us there is a negative relationship between product price and quantity demand. And for the law of supply is there is a positive relationship between the product price and quantity supply. But these two laws never inform us to what extent the quantity demand and quantity supply will change? No, not informed. So how do we know that to what extent the quantity supply or quantity demand will change? Okay, then we can learn this from using the mathematics equation to measure the change of quantity demanded and also change of quantity supply. So what are the formula that we can use? Actually, we can use this formula that we already learned in chapter 4, which are price elasticity of demand and also price elasticity of supply. Okay, let's try to check the first one. Price elasticity of demand. So what is the formula? Formula is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. So percentage change in quantity demanded, you can try to further extend the formula again. The red part is equal to new quantity minus the all quantity divided by all quantity. And for the denominator, percentage change in price is equal to new price minus all price divided by all price. Okay, so this formula can be used to measure sensitivity of the quantity demanded in response to the price change. In response to the price change. So the higher the price elasticity of demand value, the more sensitive or the more responsive are the consumers in response to the price change. Okay, so this is the formula that you need to know. No need to by heart, but at least you can refer to your lecture notes during the online quiz. You are allowed to refer to the lecture notes during the online quiz. So bear in mind, when you use this formula to do the calculation, you may find that the value that you get is always negative number. You may find that it's negative number. Why? Because according to the law of demand, the product price and quantity demanded have negative relationship. So you may always get negative value for the price elasticity of demand. Usually, it should be a negative number. So far, okay, So far, so good. Okay. Okay. Then for the next section for this chapter is you also have to know, okay, how to identify whether the product is perfectly inelastic, unitary elastic, elastic, or perfectly elastic. You have to use the formula figure that you have calculated to identify whether the product is inelastic or elastic. Okay, so if the percentage change of quantity demanded is equal to 0 exactly, then you can conclude the product has perfectly inelastic demand. So that means it's not sensitive. It's totally not sensitive to the price change. Okay, so I just simply go through. We have about 15 minutes. Okay, just simply go through. Okay, so if the percentage change in quantity demand is less than the percentage change in price, then we can conclude the product has inelastic demand. So bear in mind, when you want to do this comparison, you try to ignore the negative sign. Try to remove the negative sign when you want to do comparison, right? But when you want to do calculation by using the formula, you have to put the negative sign. But when you want to identify whether the product is elastic or inelastic demand, and then you just remove the negative sign, so that this can help you to make the interpretation and decision, okay, whether the product is elastic or inelastic in demand. All right. So far so good, So don't confuse with the negative sign, Okay, then lastly is actually this formula. Sometimes the question may ask you to test your understanding on how to transpose the formula to, let's say, sometimes the question may ask you to calculate the percentage change in quantity demanded. Let me see, there is one question. It is test your understanding. Okay, this is under chapter number 4. Okay, I go to number 4. Number 4 is price elasticity of demand. Okay, I share the slide with all of you. Okay, this slide. Okay. So actually, this slide is to test understanding whether you know how to use this formula, the original formula, yeah, to calculate the percentage change in quantity demanded. So assuming that, okay, we already know the price elasticity of demand is -2, we already know it's -2, so we just substitute -2 to the formula. And then assume that we already know the percentage change in price also given, 15% already given. So in order to get the percentage change in quantity demanded, what you can do is you just need to transpose. Means you have to move the 50. So this is how you play around with the formula. Okay. Or another question that I'd like to inform you. For percentage change in quantity demanded and percentage change in price is always in percentage, right? But you may find that the figure for price elasticity of demand, there is no unit. I just want to remind you, there is no unit for the final answer of price elasticity of demand. There is no unit. You cannot put $sign. It's not percentage. Okay, because why? Because percentage and percentage can be compensated. So 25 divided by -50, you'll get -0.5 or 1/2, or -0.5. So don't put any unit for the final answer for price elasticity of demand. There is no unit. Okay. Any questions so far for the demand side? Okay, if not, I'll just quickly go for the supply side before we call a day. So for price elasticity of supply, you may find that, right, the value is always positive. Why? Because according to the law of supply, right, there is a positive relationship between the product price and quantity supply. So if you use the formula to calculate the price elasticity of supply, you may find that the figure always positive. So this is the formula you can use. Okay. So formula, no need to by heart, because in the quiz you are allowed to refer to the lecture notes. If you want, you can just print a hard copy and then you just put on the table outside you. If you want to refer when you attempt the quiz, you may. Okay, because it's open book. This is open book quiz. You can try to photostat hard copy if you want. Okay, it's open book quiz. You can refer. Okay, so bear in mind, usually the price elasticity of supply, the value should be positive number. Okay, this is due to the law of supply that believe that the product price and quantity supply have positive relationship. Any questions so far on that? No, okay. Then the last part is, okay, based on the formula that or the figure that you have calculated, you must also know how to determine whether a product has inelastic supply or elastic supply or not. Okay, based on the figure, you have to, yes.
You're not sharing your screen.
Okay, sorry, okay, I try to go back again. Thank you for informing. Yeah, because when I change to another file, usually, Okay, so far so good. Can So bear in mind, one way for you to check the answer is the price elasticity of supply should be positive number. So far so good, Okay. Then based on this formula, you can identify whether a product has inelastic supply or elastic supply. How? What can you do is you can just compare between the numerator and the denominator value. Okay, compare the percentage change in quantity supply and the percentage change in price. Okay, so if the percentage change in quantity supply is more than the percentage change price, so that means the supply is elastic, very elastic, sensitive. That means the supply are very sensitive to the price change. So they will adjust the quantity supply quickly and in huge amount. Okay, so if the numerator is more than the denominator, so that means the supply have sensitive, are very sensitive. That means the price elasticity of supply is elastic. Okay, elastic supply. So on the other hand, if you found that the percentage change in quantity supply is less than the percentage change in price, that means the supply is inelastic in response to the product price change. Okay, so this is the summary that you can refer. Okay, so you may find that actually, for if the supply is inelastic, you may find that the supply curve is very steep, high gradient. Okay, very high gradient. But when the supply has elastic, is very elastic, you may find that the supply curve will be more flat. Okay, more flat. All right. So these are the things that you need to know for preparing you to go for online quiz 1. So on the actual day of the quiz 1, if you got any problem, any technical issue, so what can you do is you can contact me through my email address. Okay, because I'll be in front of my computer within that 1 hour. So I'll respond very fast. So you got any problem, you just contact me. Or you can contact your tutor as well if you want. Okay. All right, we have about 10 minutes. Any other question before we call a day? Any other problems? Any other question that you would like to ask? Oh, 2 hours, quite long. Yeah. Okay. Any question that you would like to ask before we call a day? Okay. If you got any problem, you can just email me or contact your tutor, respectively. No other question? Hello? Any problem so far? Okay, what can we do is you can try the revision, then after that you can try the practice exercise 1. Yeah? Try to do the practice exercise 1. You can try as many times as possible. Okay. Any other question that I would like to ask before we call a day? No, all right. So thank you for attending the session, and I will send you one more reminder email on Monday. Okay, to remind you to attend the online quiz 1. No response. Maybe you have some questions asked from the meeting chat. Pardon? Daniel?
I just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Welcome, Daniel. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then another issue is actually start from today. We have this check-in survey for all of the students. You may try to participate if you want. I think you have received the email, right? On the check-in survey. Have all of you received the email asking you to participate in the survey? Check-in survey. Have you all received email from Swinburne?
Yeah.
So if you got free time, you can try to attend the survey. It's only for 1 week. The duration of the survey is 1 week until Sunday, 12 o'clock night time. If you got time, you can try to do the survey.
Sir, what survey is it?
Check-in survey is to ask your opinion about your learning experience for this subject, for economics, and also for other subjects as well. For the 5 units that you are taking in this semester. So one subject, one survey. If you have received the invitation letter to participate in the survey, you may try to answer a few questions. There are about 7 to 8 questions altogether. Yeah. So only one student received the email. How about others? How about the others? Have you received the email on the check-in survey? Okay, the question will be something like this. I don't have the online version, but I can share with you if you want. Sorry, yeah. Are you at home now? This is the time to have dinner, yeah. Okay, I'll show you this is only okay, minor things. Okay, I'll show you the question. Will be something like that. I try to increase the size. I think it's quite small, right? The wording. Are you able to see the question?
Cannot.
Cannot. Okay, I think I better use. Let me see whether I can share the question. Zoom. Connor, I try to share screen share. I haven't screen share the question with all of you. Okay. So for this unit, we run as a blended delivery because some of you attend the face-to-face. All right. So for those who did not attend the face-to-face class, you can skip question 5. No need to do. Question 5 no need to do. Only for those who follow the face-to-face class for this subject. If you follow face-to-face class for language subject, then for that subject you need to do this question. But for economics, I think only 3 of you attend the face-to-face, so you can skip this question for those who did not attend face-to-face. So these are the questions that you need to do. This will be the 10 bipolar scale question. Okay, scale 1 to 10. Just check the point that you feel that best describe your opinion. Okay, so the first question is about this: whether you are satisfied or happy to continue to support your learning in this type of disruption. Second question is on whether the unit convener or lecturer communicate well with you. And the third question is about your online learning experience. Fourth question is about whether you are able to access the online learning resources for this subject. The fifth question is about the face-to-face learning experience with Swinburne so far. Question number 6 is about whether you are confident you can manage this unit in terms of the academic requirement well. And question 7 is an open-ended question. This is open-ended question, so you are free to write anything you want. What do you like most about this unit? About economics. All right. And then the last question is asking your opinion on what can be improved that can help you to enhance your experience in learning for this unit. Okay, so these are the 8 questions that you need to respond for the survey. Okay, the last day is until Sunday. I still have time. So far so good. Okay, all right. If no other question, then we just call a day because it's nearly the dinner time already. Okay, so that means the next briefing session should be a week before the online quiz 2. Online quiz 2 will be our second Microsoft Teams meeting. All right. The reason I use the lecture time is because this is the only common time we have to conduct online quizzes and also the the test. Yeah? This is only time. That's why I use the tutorial time. I ask the tutor to deliver the lecture slides, to go through the lecture slides, and then the lecture time we'll use to have the online assessment. Okay. Okay. Any other questions so far on this unit? Okay, it's already 6 o'clock. So thank you for asking questions and participate in this session. All right. Okay. So take care, everybody. Yeah. Bye-bye. I'll see you on Monday, coming week.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Welcome. Akel. Yeah. Cannot pronounce the name. Sorry. Yeah.
You
Okay.
pronounce it correctly.
How to call
It's
you?
Akil.
Akel. Akel. Okay. All right. Akel. Are you from group 2 or group 3? Group 3. Group 2. Akel, are you from group 2, group 3, or group 4?
I'm from group 3.
Group 3. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Another issue is actually after the mid-semester break, maybe the group 1 and group 4 will be combined. Okay, will be combined. I'll go to group 4. Yeah. And yeah, it depends on the management side. Probably I'm going to handle the group 4 after the mid-semester break. Your group 4, I think, is the tutorial time is every Wednesday and Thursday, right? 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. So probably I'll join the group 4 after mid-semester break. Group 2 and group 3 are still the same, no change. Okay. Okay, bye-bye. So I need to stop recording now.